Hit your butt. Let me see the butt trick. Woo! Good job.
When my family and I first moved to the St. Louis region in 2015 as missionaries, we stayed with two different families in the suburbs as we waited and searched for ways to get on our feet. As an interracial family, I have to say, with all the tensions, I definitely had some concerns, not necessarily about the white folks, but about being rejected, by the black folks.
Well, we're gonna go get my hair cut because I can't be on camera with my jacked up hair.
Which is why you're wearing your hat.
Yeah.
You always wear your hat on the day when you need your hair cut.
Yeah, because I try to be on camera talking about serious issues, and nobody's gonna pay it any attention if I need a haircut. Black folks, they look at your hair and your shoes.
Well, they pay attention to Al Sharpton.
That's true. That's true. But I mean,
not as much anymore, though.
Well, that's a little bit different story. I guess I could get it slicked back, bring it back.
We had nothing tangible at the time. No house, no family, no job, just a lot of love and hope. Oh, and a camera that I would take with me wherever I went, with the dream of possibly one day telling a story that could possibly turn the key and help shape and shift for the better the seemingly endless, divisive debates around racism, police brutality, and systemic injustice. And those were dominating American culture at the time. Now, because the region is so divided, there was no place in the areas where I lived that would cut black people's hair. If there was, I wasn't aware of it, which meant that a road trip was necessary about 25 minutes north into the area where most of the black people in the St. Louis area live. So naturally, I chose to get my hair cut in Ferguson. When I want to get a read on the spiritual, the emotional, the political, or the cultural pulse of the city, there's really no place like the barbershop. And I learned real quick not to come to this particular barber unless I was ready to engage in some pretty robust discussions about my faith.
That's the thing. Jesus is in the business, even as you stated, of giving people a new nature, new hearts, new nature. So that's the way that's what I'm after, is the transformation of the spiritual issues that inform and influence the racial thinking.
When you start talking about race, you can't even talk about race and religion. I.e., ask a pastor, what color is Jesus? They don't want to touch me.
So they do a really good job at that barbershop. I love going to it. That discussion in there got real deep real quick. I didn't want to go into deep theological issues right there in the chair. It was kind of hard anyway with a razor. If I made him mad, he could have just slipped. Not that he would, but it's kind of hard to talk while you're trying to make sure you get a good line. But it's so funny how the barbershop becomes this place of theological discussion, ideological discussion. Every time I've gone in there, there's been some sort of intense discussion trying to solve the world's problems, and usually other people in the shop jump in, but they didn't today because we had cameras in there. I would rather kind of center on the person of Jesus and the work of Jesus than to go off into some of the questions and the debates that I know a lot of different people like to get into when it comes to faith in Jesus, such as, was he black, or he is black is the position that many take. Others go into conversations about about blacks being the true Israel. There's a lot of that happening here in Ferguson in terms of various religious ideologies that have kind of seized the atmosphere here. The atmosphere of Ferguson is really ripe for various theological and ideological positions to be formed as people are thinking through the activity of God in the midst of race and culture and class, because of what's happened here in Ferguson. So it's kind of fertile soil for a lot of questioning, but it's also fertile soil for the truth of the Word of God to really root in people's hearts. And I think we saw a little bit of that while I was in the barber chair.
I would often use these trips to ride through Ferguson, look at the beautiful houses, and really just dream.
I love that house. Old historic century home. There's a house up here that I want to go check out. It's for sale, and it's beautiful, at least from what I see online. And so I want to ride by it and just kind of see where it is and see what it looks like. I think they're having an open house on Sunday, but I might call the realtor and see if I can get into it earlier.
I didn't get a hold of the realtor. I couldn't get in. But as I rode around that fall day in 2015 and just kind of took in the beauty of this quaint little city with a whistle-stop cafe and a caboose in the center, it was really hard to believe that this beautiful Ferguson, which I so desperately wanted to make my home, is the same Ferguson as this one.
If you're standing in the middle of the street, you're unlawfully assembled. You need to get out of the street immediately.
I don't fear you. I don't fear you.
Help me.
Thank you for meeting me at the corner. We're launching a YouTube channel and we want you to subscribe. Civil Righteousness on YouTube. You can catch all the videos that we're doing, both short form and long form, including some cool documentary style stuff that's coming up soon. Follow us here on Facebook, our page, Civil Righteousness. And if you need some coffee on your marathon of watching our content, go to our website, civilrighteousness.org, and order Dark Horse, a full pound of light roast or dark roast. You won't regret it. Thanks so much. We'll see you later.